This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
It's almost President's Day, and this year I've got a winning strategy for saving big. I'm skipping the phony sales and instead scoring everyday low prices on my favorite pieces from Bob's Discount Furniture. When I shop Bob's, I get more of what I love. More style, more storage, more comfort, more choices, even more years on that precious mattress warranty. All for a fraction of the cost of what you pay at other stores. So this President's Day weekend, stop in or shop online and see how much more you can save when you dare to compare at Bob's.
Here at Blue Apron, we know exactly how hectic school nights can be. That's why we created Assemble and Bake. Delicious one-pan meals that make family dinner simple. Just assemble the pre-chopped ingredients and put the pan in the oven to bake. Then you're free to help out with that last-minute diorama. Shop Assemble and Bake at BlueApron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit BlueApron.com/terms for more.
Hello, this is Paul Solentrop of Wichita State University Strategic Communications. Join us each Saturday at 10 a.m. on KFH for the Roundhouse Podcast. We talk with Shocker athletes and Shocker coaches to take fans behind the scenes. Saturday at 10 a.m. on KFH.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albracht. Stay right there for the latest breaking and sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report from San Francisco, site of Super Bowl 60. We will be here all week getting you ready for Super Bowl Sunday, Seahawks v. Patriots, one of the most unlikely Super Bowls ever. Why? The Seahawks were listed at 60-1 before the season, and the Patriots were 80-1. So safe to assume nobody saw this coming. No wonder Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill just hired 38-year-old Mike LaFleur away from the Rams, looking for a complete transformation that he hopes will take place, quote, in the first year, not in the second year, end quote. Mike, you do know that you play in the NFC West, right? Where 3 teams made the playoffs and 2 were just in the NFC Championship game, right? Another issue, Mike, is that the 2 teams in the Super Bowl both have very good quarterbacks and very good defenses and proven head coaches, and you have none of the above. That's why you're picking 3rd in the draft. Yes, teams can go from last to first in a year, just not yours. I mean, by all means, take your shot, but safe to assume we will not be looking at a Cardinals v. Raiders Super Bowl next year. I'm Jim Rome.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
There is no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks. Just pick 2 to 6 players, pick more or less on their stat projections, and submit your lineup to play. Download the Prize Picks app right now, use my code ROME, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Welcome in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albracht here with you on a Tuesday. Glad to be with you on this Tuesday. It is an early morning for those of us that stayed up late with KU last night. It was worth it. The big comeback win for the Jayhawks was fantastic. It was dramatic, and we'll dig into it in full today here throughout the program. So looking forward to that conversation as you get a full complement of Darren Peterson there. And the journey continues for a KU team that looks like its ceiling is very, very high. We'll have that for you a little bit later. We've also got some K-State talk for you. The voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson's going to stop by. We'll get the latest from Manhattan. Things are not going well for the basketball team right now. Can it be turned around? What's the vibe around the facility? We'll get the latest from Wyatt in just a few minutes here as he'll join the show for his regular Tuesday visit. And we'll also, take you through some of the Super Bowl headlines as all the media festivities begin this week and we begin to hear from the teams a little bit. We'll have the latest there as well. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the Coca Dolce Dubai Chocolate Porter at all 3 WBC locations. Treat yourself and your sweetie to this special seasonal brew. Coca Dolce Dubai Chocolate Porter infused with Coca Dolce chocolate, available now at WBC, pizza and beer made here. So you've got that going for you. You've got the KFH hotline open at 869-1240. You have your video streams available, thanks to those of you watching us on 12 News Connected. And you've got your audio stream available on the Odyssey app. You can also watch us on Facebook, on YouTube, on X. Leave your comments there as we make our way through the show. Appreciate everybody being here with us this morning, and that includes TJ Cleveland. TJ, good morning. How are you? Stay up late with the Jayhawks?
I did. I'm a little groggy, and apparently my computer is too. Neither my camera nor microphone wanted to work to start the show, but we're in here. We stayed up late with the Jayhawks last night, and dare I say it, I think that the conversation is almost over, right?
What conversation?
You know the conversation.
The Darren Peterson conversation?
Yes.
It's not over. He played one game.
It's
1 out of 20.
It debunked it immediately. That's what we were asking it to do.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Which part of the conversation do you feel like has been
the conspiracy?
Oh, yeah, that was debunked before it ever started. The load manager.
Yeah, but he lit it on fire immediately that he is a load manager.
I'll tell you though, the conspiracy theorists could just say he was a little inspired by the Texas Tech fans last night. I would. True. The conspiracy theory never made sense to me. If you don't, I don't think it's as complicated as anybody wants to make it. I never thought that. I think when he cramps, he comes out, and he's not risking it when he's cramping. Period. Full stop. Like, that's it. That's the story. That's the situation. If he cramps, he's going to come out. He didn't yesterday, and it was great. I'll tell you this on the game. One, I'm so happy that he got to experience that. I was texting. I love that the Tech fans were giving it to him. I love that, we get all the Jordan memes. I took personal offense to that here this morning because that's a part of the college experience. Look, it's a whole part of going to KU to go on the road on a Monday night in Lubbock and have the fans let you have it for a little while. Like, that's a part of it. And great, it motivated him. I love all of that stuff. Like, I think that's good stuff for him to experience. Because guess what? You're about to get to it on steroids in the NCAA tournament and those kinds of fun things and environments and, wait until you play Arizona at their place. All those things. Like, that's all good, not only because the team won and they figured out a way to win when they didn't play particularly well, especially on offense. They played great on defense, but Peterson wasn't good last night. The Peterson we saw against BYU was nowhere to be found. Now, he came back and hit those 2 shots, and you're like, oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, that's him. That's the guy that's the guy we saw Saturday. But they stuck it through. He stuck it through. He was not playing well offensively at all in that game. Not by his own standard. And look, KU found a way to win a tough road game. And I don't care that one of Tech's best players wasn't playing, Christian Anderson. Don't really care, because guess what? KU's been playing without their best player for a long time this year too. So no excuses in the Big 12. They didn't have Anderson. Great. You were still at home, and you still got beat by a KU team that was not good offensively at all last night.
Yeah.
So
yeah. By the way, I apologize. I'll put my hand up for giving you grief to trying to hold Tech to 75 points. They held them to 60.
Yeah. They did. And look, Anderson not being there matters, I think, in that regard.
It was an ugly basketball. The second half was a really ugly basketball game until the final 2 minutes.
That's what you want if you're Kansas going on the road. You want that game to be as ugly as it can be. Like, the game plan was just about perfect because not only did Anderson not play, but you got Toppin in foul trouble. You put Tech in the position you wanted to put Tech in when you're on the road on short rest doing the things that Kansas was being asked to do last night. They were almost 5-point underdogs in that game.
Nope.
It was great. It was the best win of their season, I think, because it came on the road. And again, nobody's apologizing that one of Tech's best players were hurt. And I didn't see a lot of that. I thought the broadcast did a nice job with it. But that is the reality. Like, Kansas has been playing without their best player, and perhaps the best player in the country all year, basically, or at least a limited version of him. So let's take excuses and throw them out the window. Not that I've heard Tech making any of them, but just for people that might say, yeah, well, they didn't have Christian Anderson. They didn't. Great. They still got beat at home.
It's true. Rick coming off the top rope already. This was the point I was literally about to make, so thank you, Rick. Flory Badunga has guarded A.J. DeBonsa and J.T. Toppin in a span of 3 days and held both of them to, very manageable numbers. Like they said, I listened to the postgame press conference this morning when I woke up, and I mean, somebody asked Flory about his defense, and he was just like, well, that's just kind of what we wanted to do. And Darren cut him off and said, stop that. Like, Flory Badunga is literally the best defender in the country.
He can guard a guard. They switch. I switch 5 with those two bigs. It's wild.
I was talking to people about this last night. Like, one of them is obvious, but like, if you took Darren Peterson and Flory Badunga, like, if this was the NBA and you were packaging a deal to ship these guys, everybody in the country would start those two players and play them every single chance that they could. Like, those two that's the reason that we're talking about them as national championship contenders, regardless. And they play 6 players. Like, they do not play their bench. And we still feel that way because of how good Darren and Flory are. Whatever, they're both really good. Like, they are the best team in the country.
And Darren was not really good last night.
I know.
And they went and beat Tech on the road.
That final minute and a half, you saw the flash of Darren 3, Flory blocked, and Trey White tried to sell the game, but fine.
I have told you from the summer, Flory is a unique basketball player. And he's been the key to everything for this season reaching its potential, and we're seeing it. It's because, and we saw the flashes last year. I don't know how great an offensive player he's going to become. I mean, he's certainly become effective, and the lobs are great and all that stuff. But his ability to defend every position on the floor is wild, and it opens things up to some crazy possibilities. We're going to talk a lot about this game today. So KU fans, stick with us. But when we come back, Wyatt Thompson, we're going to pivot to K-State for a few minutes because it was a curious press conference after the game, and a guy who's been in Manhattan for a long time knows the pulse of that fan base better than anybody. Wyatt Thompson's going to join us. We'll see what he thinks about it next on Sports Daily.
.5 and 1240 KFH.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
It's almost President's Day, and this year I've got a winning strategy for saving big. I'm skipping the phony sales and instead scoring everyday low prices on my favorite pieces from Bob's Discount Furniture. When I shop Bob's, I get more of what I love. More style, more storage, more comfort, more choices, even more years on that precious mattress warranty. All for a fraction of the cost of what you pay at other stores. So this President's Day weekend, stop in or shop online and see how much more you can save when you dare to compare at Bob's.
Mom, I like to propose a dinner optimization plan for 2026. Soccer practice every week. Get back late and you're stressed out about making something fast, but actually nutritious for dinner. When Ashley's mom picked me up, I noticed that she made Blue Apron. It came in like a little kit. By the time it was ready, I still had shin guards on. And it was real food, fresh veggies, protein, actual flavor. Take her from the younger generation. We're innovators, keeping a couple Blue Apron meals around. Not the worst idea.
Get 50% off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code LISTEN50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. There are no major incidents, but be aware of construction delays on Southeast Boulevard northbound at 31st Street. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather. Mostly sunny skies this morning, will cloud up this afternoon. Another mild day with a high of 48, north winds 5 to 15. Cloudy with a few sprinkles overnight, temperatures in the lower 30s by Wednesday morning. Mostly cloudy and cooler tomorrow, high 43, but then spring returns. Thursday and Friday, sunshine and high in the low 60s. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood, your money, your move. The NBA has announced the reserves for the All-Star game. LeBron James was named a reserve. LeBron is an All-Star in his 22nd straight season. You gotta give him credit, and especially for the fact that he's playing at a high level at age 41 in his 23rd season. It's really a career unlike any we've seen before. I'm Chris Black.
Oh, okay, take it easy. We're going on the air.
This is Sports Daily on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here. Jacob Albracht, TJ Cleveland alongside you. Wyatt Thompson, voice of the K-State Wildcats, stopping by. Get that Prairie Fire coffee ready, everybody that stayed up late with KU last night. Did you catch the KU Tech game, Wyatt? That was pretty great Big 12 basketball.
Yeah, I watched virtually all of it. An incredible effort, I thought, by both teams, really. At the end of the day, those big threes by Darren Peterson late were the difference. But I also have to say I thought Tech playing without Christian Anderson played really, really well. It's hard when you're losing your probably second best player and your point guard, and they really fought and had some other guys step up. Pretty high-level basketball at the top of this league, fellas, no doubt about it, and Peterson's insane. I mean, sometimes he makes the game look pretty easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's real good. All right, let's try to dig into Sunday afternoon, Wyatt, if you want to.
Oh yeah, we got to do it, right? Yeah, you have to do it.
I look at this. I mean, I dig through this. You watch the game, and it's such a weird one to me because it's not really like K-State turned it over 30 times or K-State did something. You can kind of just chalk it up to Iowa State is really good, but K-State didn't really do anything to really stop that.
That's very true. I think when you look at all of the measurables with Iowa State, it's really obvious that they're easily a top 10 team. They're very good for a lot of reasons, but I think in terms of efficiency, they're right there or maybe just a tiny tick below Arizona in terms of offensive and defensive efficiency. They've got lots of pieces. I love their two freshmen. They're going to be so good. I thought at some point, boy, it's going to be so hard to replace Taman Lipsey, but I don't know if you watched the Touré kid, the kid from France, but he's longer, he's more athletic, he's quicker, stronger, as a freshman, I'm saying. And they're good with Momcilovic and Jefferson and all of that. With all of that said, though, K-State didn't really do a whole heck of a lot. Turned the ball over too much early and went from basically a 4-2 lead to I think the run was 17-2 or something like that. It's been a long time since, or at least I think it's been a long time since I've seen a game where you've had in one half one team have a 17-2 run and a 20-2 run. It doesn't happen like that very often. I mean, the reality of it is Iowa State is really good, but K-State is struggling in a big way, and they got thumped by a really good team. They're
struggling in a big way, Wyatt, and it feels like rock bottom just keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
Not just because of the basketball. And look, we've all been around Jerome Tang long enough to kind of know how he operates, and it's not all that surprising that after the game he talked about what his guys are going through, and he's proud of them for that. But the comment of "I'm not disappointed" is really rubbing fans the wrong way.
Sure.
And I'm not sure what to tell those fans, because they're probably right. Like, you can love your guys and be disappointed in them at the same time. And it just, like, when fans are looking for an answer of what can be done about all this, and the answer is, well, nothing, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is, and there's no way to mask it. I'll be honest with you, he really didn't say anything like that with Stan and I, but I could just sense and feel his frustration and disappointment. But when he got to the press conference, and sometimes it works this way.
Sure.
I was surprised when I didn't hear those comments until much later. And some of it started to appear on social media and what have you. And I just wondered to myself, just a bad moment, whatever you want. And I'm not trying to defend him. I just thought, it probably would have been easier to take a little bit of a high road there. And for whatever reason, that's not exactly the way it worked out. And I think it proves how frustrated the fans are. And I think there's a lot of reasons why. You can probably question coaching, talent, results, all of those types of things. And it has been frustrating. When this season started, I mentioned this in a couple of interviews yesterday, I think all of us thought that, well, they can be, probably in the top 8 or 9 of this league and have a chance to be an NCAA tournament team. And let's be honest, they're not in the hemisphere of that. And it has people riled up, and those kind of comments are going to stir the pot. It's just the reality of it.
Wyatt, Jacob made a good point right before the break in the last segment, is that you've watched a lot of basketball in Bramlage Coliseum. You've talked to a lot of K-State fans over your years. What is the pulse of the fan base right now? Honestly, it was a pretty good crowd on Sunday, and by the end of it, it was not. Maybe that was they stayed for the baby race and then they checked it in after that. But
yeah, I think the baby race would probably qualify, but also Legends Weekend. I have to say, right, wrong, or indifferent. For me, I loved getting the opportunity to visit with Coach Kruger on the air in our pregame show. He's such a spectacular person, and it was such a great player and coach here, and for many years on all different levels, including the NBA. It was great to have him back, and many of those guys that were, Coach Hartman was honored at halftime too. His Hall of Fame thing with all of his family and all of those players, and great to see the Carl Gerlachs and Lon Krugers and some of those guys that came back. But you're right. I think I've always said this, K-State fans are so passionate, and they love their school and they love their athletics. If we put a good product out there, they're going to come and support it. And they were there, and they wanted, to be supportive. It's just that, it was a runaway game. And yeah, I don't notice it as much until late stages of the game when it does start to clear out. But it was obvious that many of them left very, very, very early and very, very frustrated.
Fans are frustrated looking to say what can happen next. A lot of fans would say, oh, you can bring in a new coach no matter what. But the reality of this, Wyatt, is like, and the three of us, I think, have a lot of respect for Jerome Tang and the person he is and the program he's trying to, build and do those things. It hasn't worked the last 3 years. But there are financial components to this too. Like, it's not as simple as some people say, well, just make a change. Well, no, there are financial stipulations to doing that. So I don't know how likely any of that is. I think pretty unlikely, to be perfectly honest with you, just my opinion. What could be different when these things, is it strictly a roster construction, a style? Because we know the resources have been put into basketball. We know that K-State, I don't have the numbers in front of me of how their NIL spending on basketball would stack up against the best of the league, but it's certainly not 16 out of 16 or 9 out of 16. Right. So when this thing, like, assuming that Jerome Tang is the basketball coach of this program for the next few years, because that's what his contract says he is, where can they make a change that we're not having these conversations again next year?
Well, I think it's probably a pretty simple answer. I think they've done an okay job in bringing in talent out of the portal, but it needs to be better. PJ Haggerty, I think you would say, was a pretty good get. Abdi Bashir was a pretty good get. Maybe even to a lesser degree, Nate Johnson. Kamari has been a little bit up and down. The foreign kids have certainly been that. And if you, I hate doing this, but as an example, you look at Iowa State and what they are doing with their portal guys, and one of them would be Joshua Jefferson. He came from St. Mary's. This is his second year, and he's one of the probably 10 or 12 best players in the league, right? And there have been others certainly, but I just think they don't have enough. They don't have enough length. They don't have enough depth in the front court. Now you have this situation where you've got, 4 guys out, and they're just not good enough and deep enough to put, 30, 35, 40 minutes together to beat, frankly, almost everybody in the league. It's just, and that's, I think, what's frustrating for everybody, because you said it, bud. I mean, K-State's, I've been led to believe, and I think most people recognize the fact that they're probably somewhere in the middle in terms of NIL money. And when that's the situation, maybe you should be there in the standings too. So I understand the frustration.
At least once out of 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That's the problem. This isn't just this year now. Like we're into a situation where we're seeing a trend. It's Coleman Hawkins and Tyler Perry and Doug McDaniel, and these are top portal guys. Like, these are high-end portal guys coming in.
We talked about this yesterday, Wyatt. That was kind of one of the bigger takeaways from the Jerome Tang stuff in the press conference was, the thing that he said about what can we do about it? They're just better than us. Like, nobody wants to hear your coach say that, but maybe the bigger part of that is, why are they that much better than you? Is this something that happened back in July? Is this something that happened back in June? And that was kind of our biggest takeaway there. Wyatt, I'll ask you this. We've joked that you're the eternal optimist. Is there something brewing? What solace can you take going forward in the rest of this 9-game stretch that they have?
It's a great question, and I'm not going to try to avoid this in any way, shape, or form, guys. I've been through this before at K-State. It does happen when you've been here as long as I have. I said yesterday a couple of different times, I've seen a 3-15 K-State basketball team in conference. I've seen a 4-14 team in this league, and so on and so forth. And if I'm being honest, and I do like to take the high road, if you will, the eternal optimist sign. The only thing I could probably say is I wish I knew. I could sit here and tell you this morning that a couple of those kids are going to be back, and it will make it a little bit better. But I don't think there's any magic potion here, guys. This is a situation where you've got a team that is struggling, but frankly now on both sides of the ball, so to speak. They scored 61 points on Sunday, right?
That's what I'm saying.
They scored 54 the game before in Morgantown.
That was one of my
biggest. They're messed up. I mean, it's not good.
That was one of the biggest things that I said after the game is that, man, this was the team that scored 100 points every time they touched the court back in November. What happened to those guys? We would take that. If they're losing 95-94, that'd be awesome, I feel like.
Yeah.
But where we are now.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And I think the easiest answer, I think there are several answers. Let me quantify that. But the easiest answer is, and I again, I hate to keep referencing this, but I've said in other interviews that somebody asked if this was like the Wooldridge era when I first got to K-State back in 2002. And I said no. And the reason I said no is because just simply look at the difference in the league now compared to then. KU was dominant. It was them and pretty much everybody else. And now you've got 5 or 6 teams that could make pretty deep runs.
Yeah.
And then you've got another cluster of teams like a TCU and a West Virginia and those types of teams. And then, unfortunately, K-State, as it's turning out, is basically in that bottom quarter. And that's painful, and it's tough. And there are no easy answers. There just aren't. I mean, all you have to do is look at the stretches ahead. I mean, we still have to go to Lawrence, Lubbock, Houston, Fort Worth. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's a pain. It's a great league, and unfortunately, right now, the Cats are near the bottom of it. We're at the bottom of it.
And hopefully they just play a little more inspired. Hopefully Saturday was an aberration. That felt like the first time. It was like they didn't even that wasn't even really ever a big effort from them.
Yeah, and I think it's really tough when you. I mean, again, I'm trying to be the optimist here, but I've been around these guys, and I think they're good kids, like Coach has said. And I think they are trying hard, but I think they are understanding of the fact that, this has been difficult. And I think they probably understand there are not a lot of easy answers there. And when you get jumped on like they did Sunday, I think it's human nature to get your dauber down, man. That game was over so fast. It was 50-21 at half, and it could have been worse. So I think Tommy said it was the third largest margin of defeat in K-State history at home. Tell you what, that
it felt like
one of your rivals, that hurts, man. There's no way around that. It sucks.
6 months to football season, Wyatt. That's all it is.
I don't know. Did we get like a hex over Manhattan? Is this the Ireland thing carrying over still? Was that the Wicked Witch or something like that? Ruined the football season? Here goes basketball.
It's a great question, TJ. I don't know that I have the perfect answer, but it has been frustrating. Like on the women's side, they're the third youngest team in Division I, and they've had their ups and downs, but they also beat Tech, who was undefeated at home. So
beat Arizona State last week.
Yeah, exactly. And that was their first home loss. So they've had a few more highs. This has been more lows, obviously, and man, everybody's feeling it. It's just
Wyatt, I tell people I got into the TV business back in 2022. My first year covering K-State, I covered a Sugar Bowl and an Elite Eight game. I think I wasted all my ammo.
Yeah, and we've all been there, right? As I mentioned, I've had some tough seasons. I've also been part of a 14-4 season, right? I know Jacob Pullen was on social media after the game, and that hurts too. You don't want to see a guy like that ripping on your program, but I understand his frustration. It made me flash back to, and you guys probably understand this. His senior day game, he walks out there, gets down on his hands and knees and kisses the power cat at midcourt. I had shivers running up and down my arm. I'll never forget that. The guy walked out of here as the all-time leading scorer in K-State history. I don't want to disappoint him, right? No. Nobody does.
Not on Legends Night Day.
Exactly. 100%.
Bill Snyder was in the building, and they lost by 30. That's the worst part of all this.
Right,
there was a time where it could have just been, guys, Bill's pretty disappointed in that first half performance. That's all you'd have needed to hear.
Sure. And I will say this on the football real quick. You asked about that. I was over there yesterday briefly. I met a couple of the new guys in terms of the strength and conditioning because they're into the winter conditioning stuff now. Every one of those other guys were in meetings, coaches' meetings. They're kicking now. They're getting after it.
It's coming. There's going to be one of these days where we're like, holy cow, K-State just beat one of those top 6 teams. Where did that come from? I think that'll happen. Maybe only once, but
yeah.
Boy, oh boy. We're feeling for the fans in Manhattan. We're right there with you. Wyatt, we appreciate it. Good luck. Good luck with the optimism. We're right there with you. It's hard to find right now.
Why we tell everyone around here is that no matter how much we talk about the struggles, we want them to be good. Our lives are better when they are good, and I know that's true for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and that's the thing. I learned a long time ago. They like me better as an announcer when we're winning as opposed to what we're going through now, buddy. That's just the reality.
It's way better, right? Totally. All right, Wyatt, we appreciate it.
See you, fellas.
There goes Wyatt Thompson. Man, I hate it so much. That's all I can say. All right, let's get happy again. We're going to come back, talk about that big KU win in Lubbock in detail when we return. Don't go away.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
It's almost President's Day, and this year I've got a winning strategy for saving big. I'm skipping the phony sales and instead scoring everyday low prices on my favorite pieces from Bob's Discount Furniture. When I shop Bob's, I get more of what I love. More style, more storage, more comfort, more choices, even more years on that precious mattress warranty. All for a fraction of the cost of what you pay at other stores. So this President's Day weekend, stop in or shop online and see how much more you can save when you dare to compare at Bob's.
Mom, Dad, I just have to say, it breaks my heart watching you stress over dinner every night. This year, I don't want you doing the fridge stare down. Hot take, with the new Blue Apron, eating healthy is easy. They've got pre-made and one-pan meals with plenty of balanced nutrition. No subscription needed. You could be plating like a chef instead of negotiating with leftovers. Make it your healthy, tasty, and easy 2026 dinner resolution. Just saying.
Get 50% off your first 2 orders plus free shipping with code LISTEN50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
Avoiding your unfinished home projects because you're not sure where to start? Thumbtack knows homes, so you don't have to. Don't know the difference between matte paint finish and satin? Or what that clunking sound from your dryer is? With Thumbtack, you don't have to be a home pro. You just have to hire one. You can hire top-rated pros, see price estimates, and read reviews, all on the app. Download today.
Parles-tu français?
¿Hablas español?
Parle italiano. If you've used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based technique teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world. With lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers, Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/listen. Spelled BABBEL.com/listen. Rules and restrictions may apply.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. There are no major incidents, but be aware of construction delays on Southeast Boulevard northbound at 31st Street. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather. Mostly sunny skies this morning. Will cloud up this afternoon. Another mild day with a high of 48. North winds 5 to 15. Cloudy with a few sprinkles overnight. Temperatures in the lower 30s by Wednesday morning. Mostly cloudy and cooler tomorrow. High 43, but then spring returns Thursday and Friday. Sunshine and high in the low 60s. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
But the voters voted. I don't like the process of it. You have every right. If you don't want to vote Bill Belichick, you think he's a cheater, and I'm going to get my pound of flesh here. Okay. If you tell me that, there should be transparency with this. Just tell me. You did or you didn't.
The Dan Patrick Show. Middays from 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
The Seahawks are going to Super Bowl 60. It's a rematch with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
Sunday, February 8th, complete coverage of the big game is on Westwood One. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Graham. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Ryan Harris, and me for all the action. If it's Super Bowl 60, it's on Westwood One.
Wichita's official radio voice of the NFL, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
The Seahawks are going to Super Bowl 60. It's a rematch with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
Sunday, February 8th, complete coverage of the big game is on Westwood One. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Graham. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Ryan Harris, and me for all the action. If it's Super Bowl 60, it's on Westwood One.
Wichita's official radio voice of the NFL, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. More people listen to KFH than any other sports radio station in South Central Kansas, including Wichita. This is 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Dude, you gotta hear this.
Go ahead. I think I want to hear this. Sports Daily is on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albracht, TJ Cleveland here. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. We're going to get that snow melted off. It's going to be golf time. Might try to get out there later this week and give it the first outdoor round since October, maybe.
Jacob, I've got a tee time at 10 a.m., and I don't think it's going to happen.
Today would be a little rough. 36 holes out of Crestview to choose from. The stuff in the shadows is not melted yet. But the good news about Crestview is you can go inside to the simulators. They got 2 state-of-the-art simulators. It'll be golf season before we know it, in full swing. So get out to Crestview and take advantage of the good deals you can get in the wintertime before it is. Tell them we sent you from Sports Daily. Yeah, 10 o'clock today, that's probably not on the card.
It was wishful thinking. We've got a tee time on Thursday. That's the one that we're going to go out and get.
I might.
Let me tell you, Jacob, I got a golf lesson yesterday, and we need to go play golf, because if I can figure this thing out, I may need to be giving you strokes.
Did it fix everything? Everything good now?
Everything's good. I just got to learn how to do it every time now is the hard part, obviously. It's golf.
Yeah, I hear you. The last time I was at the simulator, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. My biggest problem in golf, and I get it, it's not uncommon. Well, 2. I 3-putt way too often. Mm-hmm. And I just don't have the consistent. I think mine's how I set up to the ball. I don't think it's consistent on my irons. And so some days I'm on, like, just every iron shot feels great, and some days it feels like I didn't have one good iron shot. And I don't know what the difference is. And I'm not, I'm too old and stubborn to like change my swing. So I just need to figure out, like, what's that thing that can make my jacked up swing at least strike the ball consistently. And golf people are rolling.
Back to our consistent weather talk that we always have here on the show. I was very tired of being super sweaty every day when it was 100 degrees, but I do long for the days of 3 or 4 tee times a week. Those are the best.
Welcome to the club. Welcome over.
Just 70. Let's just keep it at 70. Let's just
wishing cold weather is always a mistake. It's always a mistake. All right, let's dig in a little deeper here to 64-61. KU over Texas Tech, trailed by as many as 10 in the second half. It was a game where Darren Peterson was not even, for most of the game, not even in the same stratosphere of what he was in the first half against BYU. But they powered through. They did the things that I think raised their floor quite a bit, which is play good defense. You've got 2 bigs you can switch 5 with. You've got Tiller and Badunga who can guard guards. You've got Tiller and Badunga who can run a pick and roll with Tiller handling the ball at the top of the key. I mean, it's the things that they can do are unique. The things that they can do are pretty special. We did get 35 minutes out of Darren Peterson. There was a moment there in the second half. We were all probably holding our breath a little bit. Mm-hmm. It was like, does he have the wraps on? Does he not? No.
They asked him. So I listened to the press conference for that reason, because obviously that's what anybody cares about in KU press conferences now. And Bill Self gave a really funny answer. Actually, I can't remember who asked him, but it's like, did Darren have cramps today? Did he kind of play through them? And he said, I don't know. I didn't ask him. Maybe he did. I'm not going to ask him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, don't acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it, it's not there.
Darren talked though. He did talk last night. He said that he wasn't cramping, but he had the wraps on at one point, which I didn't realize. He did have them on, and somebody said, "Is that because there was a thing and that helped get rid of them, or is that just like a preventative thing?" And he's like, "It was just out of caution, basically." But he said he didn't feel any cramps.
Well, I mean, look. There was he more motivated through because Tech fans were chanting, at him? Maybe. But again, like, I think that's good for him to experience, right? Like, he should be public enemy number one. If he's playing 30 games this year, he would be public enemy number one every time he stepped into an opposing gym, because it would be more obvious to the casual fan that this dude's different. Like he's playing a different game out there than everybody else, and he would be. So the fact that he was able to take that, embrace it, and maybe use it as a little extra motivation of like, oh no, I'm finishing this game. Then that's a good thing for an 18, 19-year-old kid to get in the veins a little bit, because there ain't nothing like that rush, and hopefully that's something that can parlay into him just like fully. Like, I have got to be a part of this. Like, this is so much fun. I'm having so much fun.
I mean, even talking from a fan's perspective, from our perspective, you have to imagine what it's like for the players. Did you see the stat yesterday that the last time that they beat 2 top 15 teams back-to-back was 2020?
Yeah. Yep. It's been a minute. It's because it's hard to do.
It is, yeah, obviously. But like, this is we've strayed so far from what Kansas basketball used to be, and obviously spilled milk here. They've been top 25 every year, basically. But like, to feel that rush of going through that schedule with that, and then Utah should be one that you can they're going to go into playing against the number 1 team in the country, probably be a top 10 team in the country, almost a shoo-in to be a top 10 team in the country, riding a 7-game winning streak, hosting Arizona at Allen Field. Like, that is going to be insane. Like, and the feeling around this right now, like how we feel right now, like imagine how the players feel. And you're exactly right. Like, for somebody, I talk about this all the time. Rutgers basketball last year had Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper on it, and they didn't even make the tournament. And that was the number 2 and number 3 picks in the draft, if I'm not mistaken, or number 2 and number 5 or whatever it was. And everybody's like, they're going to be so good. And they never got a taste of what, like Rutgers just was kind of just a place that they rented an apartment from. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't do what Kansas is going to do. Like, that's such a big deal to have somebody of that stature be able to field this run and do all this stuff, because it's only going to help you.
Right. And people wonder, like, how bought in is he? And we got to just keep reminding you what we hear constantly, which is, he's recruited Stokes hard now since this past summer. I think he loves it. Like, I don't think there's any question about that. He clearly, if you read body language, has a great relationship with his teammates. I think he's in a unique circumstance. You've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're this prodigious talent that everybody's been talking about now for a long time. And I don't want to, I'm not making excuses as to why he checks in or out of a game. I guess I'm just trying to say I understand it a little bit. There's more on the line for Peterson than there is for most players. And clearly the cramps are a scary thing for him or somebody that's close to him or somebody that's advising him. But the more of last night's environment that he can get in, the better, right? Like the BYU game, they had a huge lead at halftime. That's easier to be like, you know what? Like, I'm feeling something. I'm just going to play it safe. And now it got tight, right?
Yeah.
But last night, you're sitting there in a rock fight in a really tough place to play with some of the nastiest fans in college sports who are just letting you have it, which again, I think was awesome. Yeah. Let's just put that in your veins. Feel what that feels like.
While we're talking about
it and just like stick it to them.
While we're talking about the chants, people, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're not going to say it on air. Go Google it. I saw a couple KU fans. It's like, that is so disrespectful. We would never do something like that. Yeah, you guys were chanting F Dan Hurley when you came to town.
No, it's a word that rhymes with wussy, and they were chanting it at Peterson. And listen, that's what Tech fans are going to do. They've worn that badge of honor since Mike Leach would have probably held a sign up, back in his day in the student section. Like, that's what they do. And it's fun, and it makes the environment fun. And Darren Peterson gets to feel it and feel that sort of animosity. That's what being at Kansas is all about.
I agree.
You go into their place, and you're the team they circle every time.
This is a silly way of thinking, but somebody brought up this argument talking about, I don't know who it was on social media, of this past weekend, like Paul Pierce and T-Rob and the Morris twins and all these guys were back. And somebody brought up the point, obviously they're playing basketball, so it's harder, but like, has Andrew Wiggins or Joel Embiid ever come back? You know what I mean?
I think Embiid has. I don't know about Wiggins.
I don't think Wiggins ever has. And Embiid may have one time or something like that. But like, people talk about that. These two blue chip NBA prospects and everything like that. Like, do they have ties to Kansas? Do they care about their time in Kansas? And whatever you want, it doesn't matter what they think. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Darren Peterson, with the way that this is going, like, I think Darren Peterson in 20 years is going to be wearing KU sweatshirts and you know what I mean? Like,
the way he's embraced it so far, sure. Yeah. He's probably the reason Stokes is coming to Kansas, or one of them.
I wish I would have read this beforehand and talked about this. And Shreyas talked to DP's high school coach. They talked to us about that. I didn't realize he a snippet of the story, which I read last night, is that Shreyas asked him about what is going on with Peterson's health and everything. And he said, listen, he's like, I've seen all this stuff about him. And he's like, and I don't think that people realize, like, I don't know why he would do that. Like, he wouldn't want to be there. Like, if he didn't want to be there or risk getting hurt, his stock is so high, he could just check it in and just go back to Los Angeles and just prep for the draft all summer long and all winter long and not play a game. He doesn't even need to be in Lawrence, Kansas. Like, There's something to be said on the fact that he is day to day every game and not just shutting it down for games. And he's like, it shows that he wants to be out there, basically. And I think that that's something that's been lost in all this stuff. And it's a really good point that Shreyas put in his story.
It's always been my point. Like, he could not play just as easy as try to play for 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Like the effort is there, or he just wouldn't be doing anything. He played through a rolled ankle. I do think it's simple. The cramps scare him or somebody close to him enough that they finally are like, we can't risk that. Like, again, it's not the same thing as most players are dealing with. It's different circumstances. And if you, for a second, if that was your kid, think you wouldn't be a little more cautious, you're crazy, because there's so much on the line for him.
Matt, I agree. And we've spoken at this at such length, but like, imagine a world where he is cramping against BYU or whatever. Or we'll say an earlier game. He's cramping against Mizzou back in December and comes out of the game, and then Bill Self puts him back in with 5 minutes to go for whatever reason. He goes out there and blows a ligament somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, not to wish anything, knock on wood, but like, do you understand the conversation that we had about Bill Self if that happened, for ruining a blue chip prospect by putting him in for no reason?
Blue chip prospects are like, yeah, we're not going to play for that guy. Bill Self has to toe this line of like, I also have to make sure I have these players' best interest at the same time. John Calipari was very good at that, right? Bill Self is very good at that. There's a reason, there's a trust level there that these guys will come and be a part of it. And is it frustrating at times for Self? Of course it is. He knows how good this team can be. He can see it like all of us can see it. And so, again, Darren Peterson got the full college experience last night, the full KU basketball experience last night, and he embraced it, and he came back and scored 6 points before you could bat an eye, and Kansas won the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
This last 2-game stretch, BYU, Texas Tech, back-to-back in 3 days, is as fun of a stretch of KU basketball that I can remember.
It's been since Doak and Doc.
Since 2020, yeah. I mean, like, that is two massive wins back-to-back. Like, it's nuts.
By the way, Arizona is coming up on another short week, Big Monday next week. Arizona will be on the road for this one. They play Saturday at home. So, the good news for KU is they get home on the turnaround this time. And so that'll be advantage Kansas for sure when they play Arizona. The fact that quick turn comes that way.
Ken Palm has Arizona winning by 2 currently.
Yeah, it'll be that will be that. It's going to be great. I do want to get more into the X's and O's of this game in the next hour because I think there was a lot there to sort of dig through outside of Peterson hitting those final 2 shots and finishing the game. So we'll do that in the next hour. We also got to start talking the Super Bowl a little bit. We'll have that for you as well here on Sports Daily. Plus, the headlines I probably missed. What does TJ have for me this morning? We'll find out on the other side.
Is 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, K248CY Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. There's a 5-minute delay heading on to K96 eastbound from I-235 southbound. Other than that, the main roads are looking good. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic.
Weather. Mostly sunny skies this morning. Will cloud up this afternoon. Another mild day with a high of 48. North winds 5 to 15. Cloudy with a few sprinkles overnight. Temperatures in the lower 30s by Wednesday morning. Mostly cloudy and cooler tomorrow. High 43. But then spring returns Thursday and Friday. Sunshine.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is attorney Omid Azari from Azari Law. If you've been injured in an accident and feel like no one is fighting for you, it's time to fight back. Call Azari Law at 888-828-HURT. Just with one call, you can put a proven legal team on your side. Azari Law has been serving the DMV for over 15 years, proudly fighting for our local community. I was born and raised right here in the DMV, and my team is made up of experienced, reputable local attorneys dedicated to fighting for injury victims just like you. Follow us on all social platforms at azari.law. That's AZARI.LAW. Don't wait, don't settle. Fight back with Azari Law. With offices in Maryland, D.C., and Virginia, my team and I are ready to stand up for you. Call 888-828-HURT. That's 888-828-HURT. And let us fight back for you.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.